beginning.
Kim Kardashian had this absolutely stunning, sexy look at the Met Gala, and you can recreate it at home.
Hey everybody, Fossil Daddy here. Now normally I spend a lot of time digging up the prehistoric past, explaining the fossil record, and also trying to explain that Jurassic Park took some creative liberties.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
But today I thought we'd do something a little bit different and dive into the deep end of TikTok where a lot of asinine, stupid shit happens. Because it's TikTok. So recently I actually got an email from one of you people, so thank you very much, of a video that claims that the Catholic Church, Jewish people, ancient Greeks, and Donald Duck are part of the same conspiracy to bring back the Nephilim. And honestly, I just hope it's true, because who doesn't want a giant man in their life?
Thirsty ass bitches.
We need to talk because I think I found some really weird connections that are relevant to the end times, the blues, Catholicism, and the Nephilim returning. I don't even know what to call this video. I'm just gonna start showing you things, and some of them might blow your mind, or at least they blew my mind. This is your trigger warning. If you are easily offended, this video is definitely not the video for you.
First of all, stop. You know as soon as you hear that this isn't for the easily triggered that, you're about to hear some wild-ass racist shit, so buckle up, buttercup. And if you can't do that, I understand if you click off the video. Go watch one of my others.
I've talked about in the past that I grew up Catholic, it turned me atheist, I felt like it was dark, laced with witchcraft, decided there was no God, and my heart hardened over time.
Say, fellas, did somebody mention the door to darkness?
I said no.
Okay, I can kind of appreciate where she's coming from with this because I also grew up as an American Catholic, which also ultimately led me to become an atheist in my adulthood. That being said, I don't think being an atheist led me to darkness or witchcraft because I don't believe in witchcraft as an atheist. Actually, let's ask my friend Shanzo. He's also right here on YouTube. If you like manly stuff, follow his channel right here. And he's also Christian, so let me ask his opinion. Shanzo, as an atheist, a gay atheist,
Am I laced with witchcraft and darkness?
you can be totally honest with me.
Yeah, buddy, you're about as cooked as this rice. More protein if you were cooked, sure, but your rice purity score isn't scoring anywhere near mine. But I'll let you cook.
So cute. Bye-bye.
Well, since then, I've been trying to figure out what it is about Catholicism that is so dark.
Okay, Scott.
You mean besides the PDF file thing? I mean, that's where my mind goes when I think of Catholic darkness.
So I got this book on Marian apparition sightings and like a history of Mary, and almost all of the statues and images have 6 fingers or 6 toes on at least one limb, which is characteristic of the Nephilim. And I believe that the saints are actually the Nephilim.
The cheese curds have traveled from her vagina into her brain and she can't think.
That is a wild leap, and honestly, I can't wait to hear her explanation.
So I was just in Greece and I went to the Athens Archaeological Museum, and it's basically a museum of like the gods. Like you can clearly tell that this was a time when the Nephilim were on the earth. All of the female statues look exactly like Mary.
Okay, first of all, it's not that they look like Mary, it's more like Mary looks like them. These statues were made like 500 years before Mary was supposedly born. And I say supposedly because she is a biblical figure, not a historical figure. And I can also tell you with absolute certainty that we probably don't know what Mary even looked like to begin with. But I can tell you one thing, she wasn't a Eurocentric white woman. No offense, white women. Early Christians were actually notorious for copying art styles. You know, it's just like art history 101. Also, like, that fucking hat is banger.
And coincidentally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Girl, okay, girl, those are normal ass feet. Okay, I have seen a lot of bones in my life, and I've also seen a lot of feet, and that is a different story all on its own. However, I think it's important that we take a look at my feet. And yeah, I know, feet pics usually aren't free, but this is for science. Now, if you can see, oh god, I'm old. Okay, obviously, my pinky toe, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 11, 12, actually 5. I have 5 toes. Notice that my pinky toe is just a little bit thicker on the side. You see that? She is counting the side of the foot as an extra pinky toe, and that's fucking weird. Like, anybody looking at that anatomy can tell that there were going to be 5 toes, and that fucking statue is broken. It is a broken statue. How can you say there's gonna be an extra toe just because there's a little bit of thickness on the side of the foot? I don't know how you can jump to this conclusion. You know, I feel like I need to get a copy of whatever book she has because, like, that's insane. That is an insane leap. Or you know what? Maybe my toe has that extra thickness because I myself am a Nephilim. However, there's a problem with that. Nephilims are usually giants and I'm only 5'7". Don't tell the Vatican. Actually, fun fact, I actually got chased through the Vatican by an angry old man once because I got my ashes on a Thursday instead of the Ash Wednesday the day before. True story.
I went to an ancient Catholic church. There's a giant Mary with angels serving her.
Oh yeah, you go, queen. I want to be served.
I mean, this isn't just a difference in height. These are Nephilim, for sure.
Actually, no, this is called the Hieratic scale. Again, it is literally Art History 101. In ancient art, you made the most important person the biggest. That's literally it. The most important bottom in your life should always be portrayed as the largest. I mean, pharaohs were drawn huge, gods were drawn huge, bandit healer is given a fucking huge badonkadonk and furry fan art, same idea. I mean, it's not like a documentary photograph of a 50-foot woman being served by fucking winged men. Oh, that would be a dream come true. I mean, but this isn't Steven Universe, you know?
But if it were me, I'd really want to be a giant woman, a giant woman.
Remember we were talking about how, like, the powdered wig thing and the Nephilim looked like clowns? This guy has hooves. And then here's half man, half goat.
First of all, again, those were called satyrs in Greek mythology. They were half man, half goat. And Christians also have a history of demonizing these figures from much older stories. You know, either Greek mythology, the Celts, the Germanics, whatever they prayed to or whatever they believed later became demonic. So, like, this isn't literally portraying demonic Nephilim. It is just Greek mythology.
It's almost hurtful to me to watch her be so dumb.
I can't believe I have to explain that to a human being in 2025. But then again, 2025 has been a very fucking strange year.
Or whatever it is that's on their heads. Does it look familiar to anybody? There were also sculptures of reptilians walking around. So there's quite a few parallels between the small hats and the Nephilim, and things that make it, in my opinion, plainly obvious that they worship the Nephilim. But here's something even weirder. So Martin Luther wrote a book in the early 1500s called On the Blues and Their Lies.
Okay, quick sidebar. She keeps saying the blues. She said this earlier in the video and I meant to catch it then, but I forgot. She's not talking about like a music genre or a hockey team. This is TikTok speak for Jews. And she's literally quoting Martin Luther's most anti-Semitic work, The Jews and Their Lies. Like, what year is this? But obviously changing the word to blues so that she doesn't get TikTok banned. I think Queen Coke Francis might want to have a word with you, honey. Like, I mean, if you have to use a code word to hide your racism from the algorithm, you're probably the bad guy.
About how Plato was the first egghead and how he invented like music and mathematics and the globe. And there's very clear, subtle messaging that they were saying that he was like a Nephilim. So let's bring them into it. Notice the hat, same exact hat, as the blues, okay?
Also, just because like a mythical Greek creature is wearing a head covering and like Jewish men wear a fur hat, that means they're the same? I don't think so. Hats fucking exist. I'm wearing one. Also, it is 2025, don't wear fur. You know, there's no reason why an animal needs to be trapped, bleeding a slow death until it's skinned partially alive so that you can look like an uncircumcised Sasquatch. It's 2025. Find something else. And also, by that logic, because I am wearing a Legend of Zelda beanie, and a Republican is wearing a MAGA cap, we are both secretly part of the same cabal. We're not, don't ever say we are, because frankly, I'm not in a cult. And if I am, it's the cult of the golden goddesses, Din, Nehru, and Farur. But you're not supposed to know that. And if you repeat this to anybody, you will be banished into the dark world. By the way, do you guys like my Legend of Zelda beanie? I was looking for a Celtic-inspired Zelda hat, and I couldn't find one, so I actually designed it myself, and I have it available on my Ko-Fi, so if you guys like it and want to go get it, I'm gonna have it linked down below. Also, if you want to become a member, so I can make videos more frequently, feel free to do that too. No pressure. Every little bit helps though. And you know, I don't know, you could also hype the video, comment, subscribe, but I'm not gonna twist your arm. Subscribe or else!
Just do as I tell you, Twink. Okay.
And I showed a clip a while back from Donald's Math Magic Land. It's like a Donald Duck cartoon from, I think, the 50s. And they were talking about how Plato was the first egghead.
Did she really just say Donald Duck? Donald in Math Magic Land. Like, as a primary historical source. Okay. She's using a Disney educational cartoon from 1959. That was the year before my mother was born. Actually, the year after my mother was born. To prove that the philosopher Plato was a giant alien hybrid. Okay. Like, I can't. Like, I actually have a degree in this stuff. I've studied sedimentary layers for years. Ooh, and she just debunked all of Western philosophy with Donald fucking Duck. Ooh, I can't wait to tell Horace and Clarabelle about this.
So let's bring them into it. Notice the hat. Same exact hat as the blues, okay? So I saw this book at the bookstore today, and I got it because it has the Wicker Man, and I thought, maybe that's like the Trojan horse. And you guys know how I am. If I see a story that's like almost the exact same or very, very similar across different cultures, we're looking at it. So basically the story goes that the Druids were doing like ancient magic, and they would sacrifice people that disagreed with them by putting them into a giant Wicker Man and lighting it on fire. That is where the idea of the Burning Man festival seems to come from.
Burn her at the stake, you slimy whore!
But look at this. That is a Pope hat. And then look at this. Same type of creature that I showed you that was in the Mycenaean Museum. And then I started to realize, does anyone remember that the Pope opened that magical door like around Christmas time of this past year? And look at how this year has been. They're definitely partaking in Druid magic, and I personally believe that the Pharisees are the synagogue of Satan, the current day, and that the Sadducees rebranded as the Catholic Church.
Alright, so the magical door that she's talking about, surprisingly, is not the Door of Time from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That's where my mind went. It's actually the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica, which I think they open every Christmas. Actually, I think they open it for Jubilee years, if I remember correctly. Like, it's symbolic, it's not fucking Narnia, you know? I mean, you won't walk through it and meet a sexy, shirtless fawn, and yeah, like, I'm talking to you, Lucy, I'm fucking jealous of you, bitch. You know, also, just like, pointing at a pointy hat on a drawing of a fucking druid and then just claiming Pope hat, that's like me pointing at fucking Charlie Sheen wearing a fucking traffic cone and screaming wizard. Like, that's fucking silly. Triangles happen. You know, sometimes naturally. Look at the Triforce. It's just a structurally sound shape. Just ask my favorite kids book from childhood, The Greedy Triangle.
Kim Kardashian had this absolutely stunning, sexy look at the Met Gala, and you can recreate it at home.
The Chrislam thing that they're trying to do as like the one world religion. If you know, you know. I truly believe that they are working together and have been for centuries to try to normalize Nephilim worship. so that people aren't surprised. Because has anybody ever taken notice of the fact that the Catholic Church was the group that started the globe theory and like evolution, because they're ran by Jesuits? And what do we need the globe theory for? To accept the idea of an alien invasion, aka giants in the sky, the Nephilim coming back.
Stop! My God!
Alrighty, it is actually my time to shine because we get to talk about some science after she went off the fucking rails. For one, the Catholic Church didn't come up with the globe theory. Actually, the ancient Greeks knew that the Earth was round hundreds of years before Jesus was even supposedly born. And at least a few thousand years before the Jesus that I met in Barcelona got on his knees for me. But that's a different story. So Aristophanes calculated the circumference of the Earth with a stick in the shadow. And to make a long story short, he noticed that on the solstice, the sun hit the bottom of a well in one city, but cast a 7-degree shadow in another city at the same exact time. Since 7 degrees is roughly 1/15 of a circle, he simply took the distance between the two cities and multiplied it by 50. And fucking bam! Whoops. He calculated the size of the Earth with 99% accuracy, using nothing but a stick and basic geometry. You know, as they would say in ancient Greece, get her done! But I don't know what she's really going on about, like, these shirtless giant men from outer space overtaking the Earth. That doesn't sound like an inherently bad thing to me, personally. And you know, honestly, while we're on the topic of evolution, because she brought it up, this is where I actually shine, because I do this for work. As you can see, I brought some fossil samples, and I'm going to show them to you. Okay, so starting off with this orthocone. Isn't she lovely? She's partially pyretized. She looks like an erect...
You're a pig.
Okay,
You're
enough.
Nobody's...
So yeah, orthocone. Think of them as like a squid with a dunce cap, okay? Back when squid-like animals had exterior shells, where in contrast, modern squid have a thin, flexible internal shell called a gladius or a pen. However, this orthocone that I just showed you is over 480 million years old. That's way older than your mother, but just barely. And we have a fossil record showing that these guys had straight shells, and like, speaking as someone who doesn't do anything straight, I'm very excited about what I'm about to show you. So over the next tens of millions of years, we find fossils where their shells start to curve a little bit until they actually eventually coil, becoming the ammonoids, or the modern-day nautiloids, which are still very much alive. Looking at this fossil ammonite from France. This comes from the mid-Jurassic period. I found it in the south of France, but look how fucking beautiful that is. And then I also found this ammonite in Yorkshire, England. It's partially pyretized. I just hit the rock open and it popped out. It's so pretty. I love her. And then I also found this ammonite in South Dakota, actually. We also have this motherfucking cluster that I have from Madagascar. You can see it's like a bunch of they're polished, but all of the fossil ammonites were found right in the matrix, which is still very much attached to them. Now, the really exciting part about this fossil is this big guy here right at the top. This isn't an ammonoid. You can tell by the large opening of the shell. This is a nautilus, or a nautiloid. They are still alive today. We start with the orthocones, and then they branch off into two groups. One group becomes the coiled shelled animals like the ammonites, which are extinct, and the nautiloids, which are still very much alive today. And then the other group branched off and became the fucking modern squid that we know of today, like the Nephilim ass motherfucking Arthituchus, aka the giant squid, not really a Nephilim.
You know his dick is big. I know it. I know it's big. I mean, oh god, my heart hurts.
Also, if there were 20-foot tall Nephilim running around Greece building temples, like, where are the fucking bones? We find dinosaur bones from 66 to 230 million years ago. We find tiny mammal teeth from the Jurassic period, and you're telling me we lost an entire civilization of 30-foot tall men? Speaking as a gay man, that would be an absolute tragedy. Like, did they dissolve? Did they float away? Are they in the land of Oz, wreaking havoc in Hyrule? Like, I hear a lot of people say that the government is trying to cover it up in some global conspiracy. Like, what do they gain from that? What do they actually gain from the public not knowing about the existence of a larger race of human beings? Because we already know Homo floresiensis existed, we know the Denisovans existed. What do they gain by us not knowing that giants existed at some point. I love a good fantasy story. I am a Legend of Zelda fan. Can you not tell? Like, I've played every single game. I love them all except for Tears of the Kingdom. I just love lore. I love stories with lore, folklore, story lore, that is not lore from the Weekenders, although I do love her too.
This is not a child. This is a 10 on the Richter scale.
But this isn't lore, you know, this is just taking a bunch of statues, counting the fingers wrong, being anti-Semitic as fucking all hell, and then blaming it all on Donald Duck and the blues. But I don't know, we do live in the worst possible timeline, so maybe I'm the fucking fool here, and if that's true, will you tell me, am I being a fool? Am I a fool for digging up these fossils? Minus, you know, the megalodon teeth, I go diving for these. Now, like, I don't know what else I can say here. I'm gonna go do some lap swimming in the pool at the Y and wash all the crazy off of me. But if you do happen to see a Nephilim, and he's hot, give him my email, fossildaddy2@gmail.com, and I will see you guys later. Like and subscribe. Bye!